Welcome to the Big Brother Breakdown with Joleen. Welcome to the BB Breakdown with Joleen. That's me. Hey guys, and welcome to the Big Brother Breakdown with Joleen. That's me. I break down all things Big Brother. More importantly, celebrity Big Brother. Tonight we're going to be talking all about Celebrity Big Brother Season 3, Episode 5, the live eviction that just happened. A live veto and a live eviction. Let me know you're here by smashing that like. Let's set a like goal for 420 for Jamie B. Also, happy birthday to my moderator, Atharella. Everybody show Atharella tons of love in the chat. Atharella, feel free to drop your Cash App, Venmo, PayPal if somebody wants to give you a little tip on your birthday. And if none of your business is here, happy birthday to you as well. Aquarius season has begun. We are ready to party. So smash the like, subscribe if you're not already subscribed. Thank you to those of you who joined and subscribed. The new Leen Team members, we are now well over 22,000 subscribers, which is huge. I would love to get out of this Celebrity Big Brother season, in a long time, because I want it to last forever because I love it, with 25,000 subscribers. So tell your friends about me. Ask them, do you like weird ladies who are not lovely? Because if you watch me and my mom just got done talking about lovely women. You want to watch this weird lady talk about Big Brother by herself? Sure, then come on over to the Leen Team. We want to be your friend. All right. If you want to support the channel, you can send a super chat, or you can check out my Venmo, PayPal, Patreon, all that fun stuff. So hello, everybody. Team Aquarius. Yes. Happy birthday. Also, thank you guys for following me on TikTok. I'm almost to 500 followers. My goal is to get over 1,000 so I can go live from there. Today, I put up 2 Celebrity Big Brother videos you won't see here on YouTube. So make sure you head over there. And yeah, let's just build our Leen Team takeover everywhere. Happy birthday, Atharella. Yes, I love that you guys are showing so much love. Carly says the Celebrity Survivor show looks like it will be just as dramatic. I'm going to be watching that and covering it, okay? Because anything with celebrities doing the competition shows I love, like Survivor or Big Brother, I'm there. Sign me up all day, every day. They're always better than regular people. I don't know why. They just are. Yes, Jamie B, get on it. Thank you, Ivy. Hit the like, you guys. Okay. Yes, Ebony K. Williams is on it from Real Housewives of New York. Let's get into this episode. Let's break it down. Let me know all your thoughts, opinions, hopes, and dreams in the chat. All right, you guys. So episode 5 of Celebrity Big Brother, tonight's episode, live veto, live eviction. We come into the episode and we have noms. So the head of household, Chris Kirkpatrick, aka NSYNC, has just nominated Chris Kattan and Mariah Nagaso. And so that we're coming off of that. People look to be, a little upset. You can tell Mariah is. Chris Kattan, I think he's just sleepy. He's having a hard time. We'll get to that at the end of this breakdown. I'll tell you some spoilers from the live feeds. I might mix it in here, so just warning, there may be spoilers, but these are from before the eviction. So from earlier today and late last night. All right, let's pull up a couple screenshots here so that we can have some real fun. All right, here we go. So there we are. All right. Celebrity Big Brother, come back to the noms. Everyone's hugging. We do that hug. I wish people would stop hugging. I like the players who are like, we're not going to hug after you nominated me. The only non-hug situation I've hated is when Nicole Franzel, and I guess it was a hug. It was when Francie Franzel gave Kaser a hug as he was leaving. It's like, you already got him out. And she was like, and I was like, Nicole. She was like, it's so mean. That Kaser's leaving. I don't know. And so I didn't like that hug situation because I'm a big Jaser fan, Janie and Kaser. So I didn't like that. But other than that, I think if you don't want to hug, don't hug. I would almost rather you not hug than give me a hug with a poo-poo look on your face. I don't need that poo-poo look. Okay. Yes, the hugs are phony. Carson and Kattan talk in the potty. They're in the bathroom and they're having a potty talk. And, Chris Kattan, he's like, I didn't strategize. I didn't talk game. I haven't talked to Chris Kirkpatrick. I don't get out of bed too much. I don't know if you guys noticed, but me and Todd Bridges, we're not friends. We were never friends. We were never on a break. We were never on a startup. We just can't get along with each other. Because if you watch the live feeds, you will see that Chris Kattan and Todd Bridges, there is no love lost there. These two dudes do not enjoy each other. And I don't understand it because I feel like they could be really good friends. But between the snoring and then Chris Kattan calling it out and then Todd Bridges getting really defensive about it. And then Chris Kattan, despite being a comedian, what a lot of people don't know is a lot of comedians were on when we're supposed to be on, you know? The camera turns on. I'm on stage. I'm on. But when we're off, we're off. Now, technically, you could say Kattan should be somewhat on because he's on television and the live feeds are television. And he is on. But I think sometimes people assume that Canadians, I was going to say comedians and Canadians, we're very similar to Canadians. No, I wish we were. But we're kind of sensitive humans. So we don't always want to be roasted. We don't always want to do that kind of stuff off stage, if you will. So I think that might be something Chris Kattan's going through, where Todd Bridges, he loves a joke. He loves to joke around. Him and Lamar rib each other. But I think the two of them together, Kattan and Todd Bridges, it's just like, it's not going to work out. They're just not compatible, and it's really too bad. Okay, so then Chris Kirkpatrick, In Sync, Kirk, and Cynthia and Shayna talk in the HOH room, and they're talking about scenarios. What are we going to do? Kirk, aka In Sync Chris, he's starting to realize like, oh, Misha and Todrick think I'm going to play their game. Well, I'm not. He always says, I'm not stupid. Okay, Kirk, we got it. But you kind of are playing their game. You say you're not, but you kind of are. All right. Yeah, Kattan is cranky from lack of sleep because of the snoring. And then when he calls out the snoring, Todd Bridges gets insecure about the snoring. So it's a lot. So they're talking to Cynthia about what they might do and, game stuff. And then Mariah actually talks to Todrick, and they have this talk when she's laying in the bed and he's laying in his bed. And she says, I'm very loyal to you. And he's like, I know. I've worked really hard to get you to stay. Right now, Todrick and Misha feel as though they have Mariah Nagasu in their back pocket strategically. They love to have someone who is going to think they owe them something. So they want Mariah to be their secret weapon to ultimately take out Carson and Cynthia and maybe even go after Chris Kirkpatrick and Shayna so they don't have to. So they are fighting hard for Mariah to stay. Mariah, you can already tell she's out. She's already kind of like slowly but surely. I talked about it on my live feed spoilers. Mariah Nagasu has been struggling in the house. And at the end, when she talks to Julie, she kind of explains a little bit of that. Unfortunately, Celebrity Big Brother doesn't think that we're big enough boys and girls to be able to handle seeing Mariah Nagasu kind of struggle. Part of me understands that for Mariah Nagasu's sake, because she is an athlete. She's an accomplished athlete, an Olympian. And, not all these celebrities know what they're getting into when they sign up for the house. And she's young, and maybe they go in with some kind of, I think, mutual agreement with Celebrity Big Brother and CBS that they will protect their image to the best of their ability, which is why you see, I think, the feeds cut that much. But sometimes it's getting a little ridiculous, okay? I can see a small breakdown because I totally can relate to Mariah Nagasu. And we know that Big Brother is a situation, that house, unlike anything anyone's ever been put through before. Not like it's, the hardest thing ever, but it's a very strange situation that breeds paranoia and sometimes a freak out here and there. Okay. So then we have, so Todrick wants Mariah to stay. Then we have this really weird segment that clearly happened when Teddy was still in the house because Carson is sleeping in the clock bedroom. So Big Brother, sometimes I hate when they do this, where they save these little segments for later when you could have just put it in another episode, I feel like. Because now Carson's in the chocolate room and only gave up his bed so that Teddy could be in the pink chocolate room. But this is Chris Kattan trying to get out of his bed. And they said, when the lights go out, it is very, very dark, very dark. So Chris Kattan falls, which I'm sure he's not going to I mean, yeah, he's somewhat of a physical comedian, but I'm sure he's not going to love this. I mean, the guy's had neck and back surgery. He's like, thanks a lot, big brother. I mean, poor little guy. He just literally fell down. And then the funny part, though, was when he went over to Carson's bed. And Carson's like, that would be weird because it's pitch black and someone's standing over your bed. And you wake up and you're like, what is going on? So that was very interesting. But obviously, this is a segment from long ago. And it's interesting also because Lamar Odom, he fell last night. So the house guests are just falling all over the place. So I wonder if we'll see an edit of that, if they caught it. Okay. Then we have the now infamous, I should say, Chris Kirkpatrick. NSYNC Chris's face mask. Oh my God. What an adventurous bro. You would think he did something that is just so outside of if this is outside of Chris NSYNC's comfort zone, you got to live a little, bro. I talked about this on my live feed, spoilers. Chris Kirkpatrick, Chris NSYNC made such a big deal out of putting a face mask on. It literally isn't even the old school like mud mask. It's a sheet paper mask that's cold and wonderful and moisturizing. He was like, is it okay to do this? Like, could dudes do this? I want to assure you guys out there, okay? Mostly straight men. I think there's a fear around this. You can take care of your skin. It's the biggest organ on your body. It's very important. Ladies like when it looks good. Men like when it looks good. Dogs like when it looks good. Okay. Do you ever notice dogs tend to lick people with cleaner skin? It's a fact I just made up. Okay. So that is somewhat true. Skin is important for everybody. Male, female. Skin is genderless. Like it just good skin, genderless. So take care of yourselves. Pamper yourselves, fellas. We like it when you smell good. Okay, treat it like your balls. I imagine most of you treat your balls pretty well. If you're not one of those people that treat your balls very well, people probably aren't touching or seeing your balls that often. But if you want people to touch and feel, you know, the feel of cotton, the fabric of our life, the touch, the feel of your skin, the softer, the nicer things are, the more it'll be touched. Again, you can transfer that over to your balls. You know, the nicer you take care of something, the more people are going to touch it. Show it some love. Okay, just want to put that out there because he was just acting like, I can't believe I'm doing this. My wife does this stuff, but God, you do this too? Okay. I forget what other guy in the house. He was like, another straight guy. You do it? Okay. I don't feel so bad. You shouldn't feel bad for moisturizing. If you're not moisturizing, you're not living your best life. You got to moisturize. You got to wash. You have some fun. Okay. It's a good thing. It's just so ridiculous that he was like, I don't know if I could do this. I'm a dude. Yeah, you can. Okay. Carson Kressley didn't start Queer Eye from the Straight Guy pre-internet. I don't know if it was pre-internet. It was probably post-internet, but early interweb days for you to now be in 2022 wondering if you can be a little Queer Eye for the Straight Guy with your face stuff. Okay. He didn't do all that work for you to still be questioning men's self-care. Take care of yourself, fellas. All right. I digress. Here we go. Then Big Brother always has to throw in some kind of ad. They're like, guess what? Guess what, you guys? We are going to get to the POV on this live episode that you're all waiting for and the live eviction. But first, here's Jennifer Love. No, it's not Jennifer Love Hewitt. Here's Jennifer. What is her name? Jennifer Lopez. She's fantastic. Joleen, remember her name. Respect the queen. And that one guy's brother, what's that guy's name? I can't remember. He was in Old School. They're going to be in this shitty movie. I have no offense to the writers or anything, but is anyone going to see this movie? Are we excited? Maybe if you want to turn your brains off, if you want to self-lobotomize, you're going to see this movie. No, I'm sure it's a fantastic movie, but how many times have we seen this? I'm a big super duper, and I'm just going to marry someone. It's just a little ridiculous. So I'm sure it's a really good, it's getting, with the J-Lo rom-coms, it's a little Owen Wilson. Okay. Luke Wilson's brother, better known as Luke Wilson's brother, the blonde one, is in this movie. Okay. Yeah, it's a lot. I can watch 25 of the other rom-coms that J-Lo's in, or I can watch Selena again, which is really her best work. It really is. All right. And look at everyone saying, no one, people aren't going to watch it, but maybe you are, and that's okay. But yeah, a lot of her movies are the same. Yeah. And who doesn't love a good rom-com, Renee, for sure. I rewatched The Sweetest Thing recently with Cameron Diaz and Christina Applegate and Selma Blair. I was thinking, this is going to be awesome. I remember this being awesome. It's awesome when you're 22 and you didn't have the World Wide Web really that much. That's when it's awesome. Not that good. Not that good. Doesn't really follow a story. It's plotty. It's weird. Okay. But I digress. More power to you guys. They clearly have better careers than me. So why are you being such a hater, Joleen? Probably because I just want to get to the power of veto, which is the marry me power of veto. Because apparently that is what we're doing. We're basing our power of veto on the movie, like you do, because CBS needs to make money too. Mr. Moonves left with a lot of it, so they got to make sure they get that shit back. Thank you, Realification, for the first super chat of the night. I'm going to go see that movie because I love movie theater popcorn. And that is the right answer, Realification. Any movie's a good movie with movie theater popcorn. Okay? And yes, I love The Sweetest Thing then. Now and then, now not so good. Then, very, very, very good. Okay. So back to this episode. So then everybody lines up and they picked their players. We didn't see it, but when we came back, of course, Chris Kirkpatrick, the HOH, the two nominees, Julie has to explain this every time because people still, the celebrity house guests are like, huh? Chris Kirkpatrick, again, after his recent explaining to Lamar how things work, he explained again what will happen. A lot of them had to ask, well, how are we going to figure out players for the veto? They were like, I don't know how that's going to work out. And they're like, remember last time you stand up there. And then if you get house guest choice, you could pick someone. And everyone's like, huh, I don't. Okay, I think I remember that. So they just need a little reminder. So Julie's like, hey guys, okay, obviously we're gonna have Chris Kirkpatrick. He's the HOH or the HOA, Cynthia. And then we're gonna have Chris Kattan and Ryan Agastu because they're OTB on the block. You guys are getting it. And then our players that we picked at random draw are Shayna Mokler, Todrick Hall, and Cynthia Bailey. And then they play a Where's Waldo one, which I kind of liked this one. Fast, to the point, find the marry me. I got it. For the most part, everyone was doing good, except for this guy. This guy was horrible at it. Do you guys think he threw the competition? I mean, that was a pretty shitty, poor performance. I'm thinking he threw it because he made a lot of big promises on the live feeds. If you guys didn't know, Chris Kirkpatrick, a.k.a. NSYNC Chris, made a promise to Chris Kattan, if I win this, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take you off the block. And then you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put up Todrick. And then you know what we're going to do? We're going to backdoor him. And I'm watching the feeds today like I couldn't breathe. I was just like, oh, I was having palpitations. I'm like, this is so exciting. This is Big Brother. He's not going to see it coming. You're doing exactly what you should do with an HOH, in my opinion, with this condensed season. Take out big targets. You're breaking up a power duo for some reason. He's obsessed with Misha, so he won't take her out, but I would take her out in a second for my game. So instead, he's going to take her better half out, which is Todrick. And I'm thinking, this is amazing. He tells Shayna, then Shayna runs and tells Cynthia. And all day, Chris Kirkpatrick, he almost couldn't contain himself. He was like, okay, I'm going to do something real big. It's going to be real big. It's going to be the biggest piece of big that ever baked. You want to hear about it? No, I can't tell you. I can't tell you. Just get ready. House about to blow up. We're going to blow this. You ever been like this? You ever see a meme that does this? That's what you're going to do. Your brains are going to be all over the place. This is your brain, okay? This is your brain on Chris Kirkpatrick's backdoor plan. No one's ever thought of this before. But guess what? You know who really thought of it? Shayna Mokler, because she's the one that's been pushing for this, and it was her idea. And then he did what sometimes people do in this house, and they go, I got an idea. And you're like, well, technically, you have someone else's idea that you're now regurgitating, but okay, you're doing what you do. I think women are kind of good at this. We have to sometimes, convince men into things we think they won't necessarily want to do. Their first answer might always be no, and sometimes you got to make it seem like it's their idea. So Shayna Mokler has been married and in enough relationships to know how to finesse this shit. I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying it's fair. I'm not saying you should do it. I'm just saying that's the reality of being a woman in the world. So Chris Kirkpatrick all day. He's like, God, I just can't. He was just carrying his laundry around, just like stopping, looking at Mariah like, you good? You good? Like he wanted to tell her so bad. He wanted to tell Chris Kirkpatrick. He wanted to tell Cynthia. And Cynthia already knew. So she goes, oh no, keep it to yourself. Keep it to yourself. Keep it to yourself. It's cool. It's good. No, don't even tell me because I already know. I mean, I don't already know. So Chris Kirkpatrick was bursting at the seams. So something tells me this dude threw it because he did horrible. How hard is it to find marry me in the picture? Okay. You had to find yourself in every NSYNC performance. Clearly you can do a Where's Waldo on Marry Me. That's a little bit of shade, but you know, we got to give it to Chris Kirkpatrick a little bit. Because if he threw this after making that kind of promise, that's a really lame move. Because this HOH, it's not going to go down in the record books of being very good. You put up Chris Kattan and Mariah Nagasu arguably for personal reasons. Okay, so he gets like 1 point total. And then it comes down to this really kick-ass final two people in the competition. Oh my God, it's down to Todrick and Shayna. And Mariah Nagasu did really well as well. And Cynthia Bailey did well. But it comes down to Shayna and Todrick. And I was like, oh my God, Todrick, you need to win this if you want to save yourself. Shayna, you need to win this so you can carry out the plan to backdoor Chris Kirkpatrick, to backdoor Todrick, which you've been planting the seeds. I know Shayna technically wants Misha out more than Todrick, but she's fine with Todrick. You know, she would take him out. So I'm like, oh my God. And I'm getting very, very, very excited. And all of a sudden, they have to calculate in hours between getting the Monwan, I think, curse, and then Todd receiving it and having to go on the block. And the answer was like 175 or something. So Todrick was close, but Price is Right rules. You go over, you lose. Shayna's like, I'm just going to write 72. My dad's 72. I like it. That's it. I'm just going to write 72. So she wins. And I am thrilled. I'm like, this is Big Brother. This is what we wait for. Todrick's face. He's going to get backdoored. A live backdoor. I don't even care if it's my favorite player. I take that back. If it has to happen to Janelle or Kaser, I've seen them go too many times. I cannot take that kind of torment on my heart anymore. But anyone else, I'm fine with it. Because it's a live backdoor. Oh my God. What in the Farrah Abraham, you know? And I was so excited. And what happens, guys? What happens? It's just, here's what happens. This was me. When Shayna decides during the POV ceremony, she stands in front of everyone. This is me. I'm Chris Kattan. Chris Kattan is me. And she goes, I'm going to keep the nominations the same. I'm like, what the freaking frack? Why in the worldy? Oh my, Shayna. And I know she probably is like, well, I wanted NSYNC to get the blood on his hands. I didn't want to, but bloody up, baby, bloody up. Okay. Just drench me in blood. If I have that opportunity, mark my words, I want to be a celebrity just so I can be on Celebrity Big Brother. Civilian Big Brother, I can't do that shit with all those Instagram models and them hooking up in a bed next to me. I will lose it. But this I can do. Emotional breakdowns, got it. Late night cake eating, got it. I can do that. 30 days, got it. 90 days with a bunch of Love Island wannabes, no way, Jose. Okay. Mark my words. When I am on Celebrity Big Brother, we are putting it into the universe, Joleen. When I am on it, I am going to bathe in blood if I'm in a situation like this, for sure. But nope, she doesn't do it. She doesn't do it. Chris had been saying all day he was going to do it. If Mariah would have taken herself off the block, they could have done it. You know, if she would have won, you might as well do it. You don't like Misha anyways. So you're going to piss her off. A plus, a deuce. But nope, she doesn't. She doesn't. I don't know. All that talk, exactly, Fonda. All that talk for what? So that's why I can't wait to turn on the live feeds tonight and hear from one of my favorite people in that house, Shayna Moakler, why she didn't take this opportunity to stab the other side. You always want to stab them, you know? Yeah, when they have, exactly, Renee, when they have an opportunity to cut the head of the snake off of an alliance, they all choke because nobody wants to be the one standing there taking, you know, the blame. Thank you, Short. Thank you, Short Stack. Mark my words. Celebrity Big Brother, Joleen Lunzer, coming to you. What year is it? Let's see. It's 20. I better give myself some years because I'm basically nobody. So let's think. What year is 2022? I don't want to be too old on it. Yeah, I think when I'm 50, that'd be a good time. Be like Cynthia Bailey. So I'll give myself like 9 years. So whatever that is. Someone do the math on that. 2031. Celebrity Big Brother. Maybe a little before. Okay. It's the edibles. And exactly, Gregory. And I'm so glad you're here to say that because it's got to be the edibles. They're taking the ones that are, you know, the What's the different kind of highs? You get the body high and the brain high. They did the brain high when they're like, guess what I'm going to do? We're going to do a back door. And then they took the body high and like, I can't remember what I'm going to do. And that's, the cush versus the push. What is it called? You guys know what I'm saying. Talk to me, weed heads. Tell me what I'm talking about. Okay. So then, we keep the nominations the same. Boring. Bring a book. We only get a couple more weeks of this. You better pump it up. They did it. And then Chris Kattan gives a speech. And Chris Kattan's speech is like, thank you, Ashley F. I knew I could count on you. Sativa and indica. Okay. Those are the two weeds. And they took the wrong one. So Chris Kattan stands up and he goes, here's the deal. I don't want to be here. I'd rather go home. This kind of sucks. No offense. Mariah's trying very hard. She's also emotionally breaking down. She said some breakdowns, right? And everyone's like, you're not supposed to say that. They cut the feeds when we talk about it. And she's like, thank you. Thank you, Chris. So, keep her. I don't know, keep her or something. We ran out of cake like 2 days ago. So I'm not really into staying. I don't really care. I'm Chris Kattan. I don't like Todd Bridges. He snores and he snore some more. And I fell on the ground. I've pretty much had my big brother experience. I've fallen, I've eaten late night cake, and I have a new arch enemy. Okay. So there you go. Thank you, TV Talks with Tom. See, and if I have a YouTube celebrity, TV Talks with Tom, vouching for me, I'm surely going to get in Celebrity Big Brother. Okay. Yeah. Chris Kattan was like, I'm ready to go. See you in 2 and 2, Chuck Woolery. And then that's for you oldies out there. The kids are like, who's Chuck Woolery? Google it. It'll blow your mind. It's pre-Andy Cohen. It'll blow your mind. It's crazy. Okay. Sativa generally gives you focus and energy. Well, that's what Shayna Moakler needed because she was not focused. She was ready to lay down. So then, of course, that's when my internet decides to go. So I didn't hear what Mariah Nagasu said. Was her speech good? Please put it in the chat. If you remember anything she said, please put it in the chat. Then I logged back on. By the time I logged back on, they were already voting. And can I just say, this cutie with the booty, what a look. Best look of the year thus far for this season, the glasses, the jacket, the hair, the skin. This is a moisturized man, okay? And there is nothing wrong with that. The way it's buttoned, everything was beautiful. Carson, the cut of the suit. I mean, I'm going to start wearing suits. I am going to dress exactly like this. This was such a handsome outfit. It was a handsome, beautiful outfit. Okay. So everyone starts voting, and soon we realize it doesn't matter what Chris Kattan said. They're keeping him because they like that little guy. He's going to have to stay in the bed and hide out. They are not giving him his wish. Santa is not coming to his house. He does not get to go home. Can we also say, Misha, I need you to stop with the cutouts. It's too much cutouts. You're a beautiful lady. What's with the cutouts? What in the WWE is going on here? It's a lot of cutouts. I'm not liking it. These shirts and then with the very exposed bra strap. I don't get it. It's giving me garage sale vibes. I don't get it. And I like a thing at a garage sale. It's giving me, you are holding a garage sale vibes. It's what you wear when you're hosting a garage sale. Todd Bridges voted in the shortest time we've ever seen on the show. He's record breaking. Todd Bridges, Toodles, killed it. He was like, Mariah, bye. And then he left. Up, down, no hi, no goodbye, sit down, vote, goodbye. Barely sat down. His butt cheeks just grazed the seat. And he was like, see you never. And he left. I think he was just mad because he couldn't vote. Chris Kattan. Cynthia Bailey. Oh my gosh. Stunner. What a stunner. Her and Carson. Someone tweeted today, I want a feed camera just on Carson and Cynthia. And I can't agree more. I can't agree more. All right. You okay, Joe? Okay. My husband's playing a game and he must have missed a score. The voting's getting a little too long. They're like, hey, Mike Smith. Hey, Mike Jones. Hey, Mike Hill. Noel, Boel, Ashley, Dashley, Poo Poo, Prancer, Reindeers, everybody back home, all of Atlanta, a Buckhead. I love you. I love you too. Atlanta proper, that little area in Atlanta where they have cute little shoppies, Midtown, Uptown, downtown, my friend Annabelle, Stacia, Nene Leaks. Hopefully we're going to make up later. Kenya Moore. Look at what I'm doing now. Don't be a bitch to me. Candy Burris. Hopefully your new show is going to go well. Love it. Candy and the gang. Okay. Portia Williams. Who else? Simon, Portia's fiance? Maybe not. The Canadian chick that used to be on the show. Hi to her. Hi to Phaedra, kind of. But yeah, you're going to be on Ultimate Girls Trip at Dorinda's. It's going to be super fun. Berkshire's for life. Who else can we say? Oh, Drew Sidora. Sorry, that wasn't very entertaining. And Belle Biv DeVoe's wife. Hi, guys. And then she gets up and it's all the highs. She said all the highs. Cynthia was saying hi to everybody. Mom, dad, other dad, second mom, third mom. First grade teacher, Miss Annan. Second grade teacher, Miss Smith. Third grade teacher, Mr. Anderson. Fourth grade teacher, Mr. Booth. Fifth grade teacher, Miss Cedarberg. But then Miss Worth, because Miss Cedarberg had to go somewhere. But I really liked Miss Cedarberg, so hopefully you're still alive. You guys are probably dead. Sixth grade, Mr. Wenzel. Okay, bye. That's what she was doing. Okay. Yeah, you get a phone call, you come back. My shout outs are still going on, Jess. Still going on. So it's a unanimous vote to vote out Mariah Nagasu. And I was just like, again, I was just like this. I was like, yeah, all right. So Mariah goes out and, you know, did you guys notice she didn't give a hug to old WWE cutouts? I don't think she hugged Misha. Maybe I missed it, but it looked like she just did not give a hug to Misha. And I was like, how's Misha going to feel about this? How is she going to feel? Well, just like this, because that's how her face always looks. You know, that's our Misha. That's how it always looks. It's the same face every single time. So she gets her bag. She gets some hugs. She doesn't say anything like enjoy doing the dishes like Teddy did, because she doesn't have to be like that. She gets out there and she sits with Julie. And Julie's like, what's up, girl? Like, what's going on? You okay? And she said, I've been emotional these last couple weeks. And the feeds have been cutting. I don't know why, but they don't want to show my emotions. And then she said that, you know, she felt lonely. She didn't feel like she could relate to anyone. And she's never been the only Asian American in something ever. She was like, well, there's no other Asian Americans. And Julie's like, I have, talk about right now. Do you see any Asians around here? No. So many whites, all the whites, all very white. And I'm thinking, wow, you'd think you guys could cast, you know, a little more diversity so that we don't have a situation, you know, because I mean, what do they have to do? Like, honestly, you are forcing these groups of people to go into the house and then have to make their own alliances like the cookout so that they can actually see themselves represented on the show. So that was that was disheartening to hear from Mariah. But I was sad to see Mariah go. She said she wasn't mentally prepared for CBB. There are so many explanations for Mariah's behavior, I think, in her having a hard time. I mean, she explained it quite a bit on the feeds. We'll go into spoilers now. So that was the end of the episode. Julie Chen's like, we'll see you Wednesday. We'll see you Friday. I mean, I probably won't see you Wednesday, but I'll definitely see you Friday because I don't come to work when it's not live. Me and Leslie Pooh, we be hanging at home. You know what I mean? The house that CBS built. And that's what we're doing. But, you know, we'll see you later. So now we're going into spoilers and we'll talk about things and kind of break down Mariah Nagasu's feelings, behavior, what's going on. And we will do a transition with Cynthia Bailey, who this week on the live feeds, Cynthia Bailey is over this shit and she's not afraid who hears it.
I don't even give a fuck. Okay. They can hear me.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
That's where we at right now.
That's where we're at right now. I don't even give an F who can hear me. And then Mariah Nagasu.
Oh, I'm doing great. Sure. Promise.
Oh, I'm doing great. Promise. I just loved it. I love both of those women and their reactions so much. Okay, so Mariah Nagasu said something very important during her interview that I think will explain a lot of kind of what maybe was going on in her head, you know, not being mentally prepared for this show and being a figure skater, being someone who was trained from a very young age to be prepared, to know what she's getting into, training, do it so that it's mind memory. You never forget it so that you're the best at it. And she came into the Big Brother house, and this is probably one of the first times in her life she really has not had a lot of control over the situation and come in not prepared. And again, when you do these sorts of things, whether you be a professional athlete, you get to the Olympic level, you're a pop superstar, there are other things that have to give in order to get you to this place. Again, this is just me talking from what I think and what I've seen in other people's stories, because I love to watch, almost like the old E! True Hollywood stories, but whatever they're called now. So I think other things kind of fall to the wayside, whether it be like social stuff or just, things that you pick up a lot with having a regular life, with going through the experiences that most people go through. School, friendships, any kind of normalcy. And she and Todrick talked on the live feeds last night. And she's had quite a few talks. I mean, the feeds cut a lot, so we don't get to hear all of them, but sometimes we catch them regurgitating what they talked about. And Todrick's like, I could never do what you did. I could never be an Olympian and have to give up so much in order to achieve so much. I was out with friends. I was, going swimming, doing this. And these are things that these athletes, these professional athletes, these Olympians, these pop superstars, anyone who's an elite at their art form or their sport probably didn't get to really experience. So you miss out on a lot, and some other areas might be either stunted, or you might find it a little harder to relate with people. And that's why I always had the ultimate empathy for Mariah Nagasu. You guys are asking for the Cynthia clip again? Of course. We will cleanse this with a Cynthia doesn't give a shit and she's over it and you can hear about it clip.
I don't even give a fuck. Okay. They can hear me.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
That's where we at right now.
She don't give an Effenheimer. That's where we're at right now. And I get it. I don't know if she won Dancing with the Stars. I don't watch Dancing with the Stars. I think she was on it, right? So will I reach out to Mariah for an interview? I don't know. I don't really reach out to a ton of people for interviews, but maybe we'll see. I like Mariah and I hope she's doing super good. In that clip, Cynthia Bailey was talking to Shayna and Carson about Misha. And she's like, if I got power, I would put Misha up and make sure she gets voted out because I'm tired of her. I'm tired of her superiority complex. I'm tired of her not talking to me. I'm tired of her making food for the guys and not for me. It was once Misha made food and didn't share it with Cynthia, it was over. It was like, you're dead to me. She had a funeral for her. Again, a lot of funerals this season. We have Chris Kattan every time he sleeps. Looks like a funeral. And then Cynthia Bailey had a funeral for Misha, basically saying, I will cut her out of this game. She fed Lamar. She was feeding with her fork yesterday, Todrick at the table, which some people are like, that's close. We're going to have to break that shit up. And according to Cynthia and Shayna, she makes food for the dudes, but not for the chicas. And don't come between Cynthia Bailey and her food. It's like coming between Candy Burris and her food. It's like coming between me and my food. Don't do it. Okay. That's the worst thing. I went camping once with friends and there was a guy friend we were camping with. It was the first time I ever took my husband camping, group of friends. Our guy friend, there was a lady friend, a girlfriend. We were all a group of friends, but he wanted to date her. He wanted to take it to the next level, take it to Pound Town, So he decided, I'm going to make breakfast for her and nobody else. So he brought breakfast food to the group camping trip and just made it for her. And to this day, that was in 2011, 2010, I still remember it. It is 2022, okay? I am like a Scorpio. My Scorpio moon, I remember that shit. Oh, Jeremy, you didn't share your eggs and hash and bacon? And you just wanted to make it for Maddie because you had a crush on her? I remember that. We're cool, but we're not as cool as we could be if you would have fed me. How dare you eat in front of all of us, all right? That was somewhere in Arizona. I don't even remember where, because I was still, where was it? Tortilla Flats. And I was still drinking. And I might have peed outside in front of my husband when I was dating him for the first time. And I said, come with me. I got to pop a squat. Because that's the Midwestern gal's way of being like, I like you. Let's take this to the next level. Okay. If you pop a squat in front of him. And that's what happened. All right. Yeah. She made food for the men only, apparently. Apparently that's a common thing for Misha. Food equals friends. Yeah. Jeremy lives in Australia now. He's a nice guy, but I'll always remember that. So if you're watching, Jeremy, I remember what you did. So does Chell, right, Chell?
Right.
Yep, my husband does too. Okay. We got married off of it, but damn. Did he get to go? I don't think so. I don't think so. Because I think she liked sharing. Sharing means caring. Okay. All right. Let's get back into this stuff. So Mariah Nagasu, let's do a little farewell to Mariah. Mariah, you were fantastic entertainment. You are a sweetie wipe the CD. You are young. The world is your oyster. You've already done so much at your young age. We learned so much about you. And I wish they wouldn't have cut the feed so much, because I think your story is very important and amazing. And just hearing, you know, what happens, just hearing an Olympian's life, what it took to get to the Olympics, I think is so, so interesting. And she seemed like she was going to open up about that stuff. And she opened up to her other house guests about it and her relationship with her parents, which I guess it's much more standoffish, which I think happens when, you know, you put your kid on that level to go become an Olympian or become a superstar. Unfortunately, the lines blur, and you know, it's not your traditional parent-child relationship. She probably had to become independent a lot sooner. She talked to Todrick on the feeds last night, like I said, and she was just sharing all kinds of things that the house triggered her. The power dynamics really triggered her. It brought her back to her ice skating days, and it just what happened in her skating career. And like when the guys or like Lamar would be like, get me this or make me this, you know, she wouldn't want to do it, but then she'd feel the need to. She had a very soft heart when it came to Chris Kattan. She felt as though Chris Kattan is getting kind of picked on in a way. And she went to Chris Kirkpatrick to be like, you need to take care of him. Because there was a moment on the feeds today where Chris Kattan, I think, was crying a little bit in the clock room. Now, he didn't want the cameras to pick it up. So when Mariah started hugging him and talking to him about it, he was like, no, let's not talk about it. She's like, okay, let's not talk about it. But she's like very empathic. She took that on herself, you know. And so for all of those reasons, and just her, you know, being open and having this amazing story that, you know, none of us will really ever understand unless, you know, you've been an Olympian. I appreciate her just talking about her struggle. She also talked with Chris Kirkpatrick the night before, last night, about, you know, or I should say, yeah, Chris Kattan, she believes he got yelled at. She told Chris Kirkpatrick that this morning, and that Todd was being so mean and so defensive to Chris Kattan. So hopefully that made sense, you guys. But yeah, so maybe when I go over my spoiler notes, there'll be a couple other things. But overall, you know, I think Mariah Nagasu, you were very fun to watch. I loved your pillow fort. I loved you playing with the rocks. I love how you were talking to the cams, and the best people have little breakdowns. And she said something so beautiful to Chris Kattan today, and I'm just paraphrasing, but she said, there's no shame in crying. Not no shame in crying. I'm dumbing it down, but something like tears are not a weakness. Your tears are not a weakness. And I was like, thank you. If anything, you spoke for mental health in ways you might not even knew you were doing that. And when you saw that, you felt as though someone being Chris Kattan needed a little bit of love and a pick-me-up and someone to stand up for him, you were there. So Mariah Nagasu, thank you for being so entertaining this season. And let's cleanse her with her now famous clip, according to me.
Oh, I'm doing great. Sure. Promise.
I love that. Oh, I'm doing great. Yeah, promise. I feel like that's, you know, when you're back at work and someone at your work's like, how was your weekend? Oh, it was great. You know, because it's Monday and you still have so many days ahead of you. And you're like, I don't want to talk about it. The weekend was a very sacred time and it's now over. And I'm here with you people. Okay. And that's that about that. All right. Let's get into these notes that I took from the live feeds and get going on that. Okay. So the live feeds from a little bit of yesterday and today. All right. Lamar, Todd, and Todrick were playing cards early this morning. They woke up early. They had a really big day. Todrick says that his big brother experience has been interesting because, like he said, I think in his pregame package, he doesn't really hang out with straight people. He just doesn't, especially straight men. So for him, this was kind of different. So he's sitting at the table playing cards with Todd Bridges. And, Lamar Odom, and he probably didn't see himself doing that. Thank you so much for the super chat. RuPaul is done with Todrick because of Carson. What? Is this because of what now? Because he's trying to get him out of the game, or prior? Please do tell more. Yes, hit that like if you haven't hit the like already, you guys. Okay, so Todrick's playing cards, and he says that I normally don't hang out with the straights, so this is a wild good time. Then they talked today. They had some really funny conversations. Todd Bridges, Shayna, was talking about she had her period. She got her period a couple days early. And Todd's like, better early than late, huh? Shayna's like, I'm 46. Not that you can't have a baby at 46. You totally can. But she was like, I don't think that's going to be happening for me. But I was like, Todd Bridges, you and your dad jokes. Huh, better early than late. Huh? And Shayna's like, I'm a fully formed woman. It would be okay. But still funny. Then he went on to talk about periods, because Todd Bridges has learned. I want to find a screenshot of Todd Bridges while we're talking about him. But for some reason, I can't find my damn screenshots that I took. Bear with me 1 second, you guys. We'll play the Cynthia clip while I look, because it's a good one.
I don't even give a fuck. Okay. They can hear me. Okay. That's where we at right now.
I don't even give a fuck that they can hear me. Okay. That's where we're at right now. Yes, that is where we are at, Cynthia Bailey. I love you. Okay. I don't know. I'm going to have to pull up something. What is this one? Episode 3, episode 4, 27. Episode 5. Dang, Joleen, you got enough folders on your thing? Talk amongst yourselves, guys. I'm sure you're having tons of fun just chatting. Wish Atharella a happy birthday while we take this little break. Okay, let's see. I think I might have found it. Hopefully this is it. Might not be, but maybe we can find Todd Bridges' screenshots. I swear I knew where this was once upon a time. All right, well, we'll just do the Chris Kattan might be dead one. This is when he sleeps. Okay, so while Chris Kattan was actually there for this conversation, so this picture works. They're sitting at the table. Chris Kattan pulls up. Todrick's still there. Todd Bridges is like, oh, she got her period. This can be real bad for the ladies. I'm paraphrasing, but you get the gist. And Todrick's like, yeah, I have a friend, and she gets them really bad. And I was like, thank you for adding to the conversation, Todrick. That added nothing, but thank you. I appreciate that. And then Chris Kattan woke up from the dead, and he was like, it's not the same for all ladies. And Todd's like, oh, I know. My wife, she used to have me hide the china. Yeah, it was real bad for her. She said, she got to hide the china. She gets real clumsy. I'm thinking, that's not clumsy. That is hormonal. Our hormones are all over the place. We go through so much every month. Ugh, so not fair. And I love that Todd was like, I don't know if he caught himself or he really does think. Part of me kind of thinks that he thinks that his wife believes his wife is just clumsy, but really, I'm sure she's just like, damn it. I'm not above breaking shit on my period. I'll tell you that. I will tell you that. So that was so funny. Him just talking about menstruation and hiding the china from his wife. I can just imagine her running around the house just, where's the china? I got cramps. I got hormones raging. I need to do something. Okay. Then they have a conversation about race and, being gay and, bias. And Chris Kattan, bless his heart, I think he started down the path of, well, I don't understand people. I think he just wanted to state that I'm not one of those people that's like a crazy hater. I am not someone, I don't care if you're gay. I don't care, what color you are. I don't care all that. It seemed like he might have been, waffling on the, I don't see color. He didn't say that, but I'm just saying probably one of those classics that we whites like to say sometime. But then, Todrick I thought was really good in this situation. He was like, no, I know what you're saying, but there are people out there that still, because Chris Kattan's like, I don't know. I don't see that. I don't even pay attention. I don't even know who's gay, who's what color. I don't see any of that. I just see you. And then, Todd Bridges and Todrick are like, that's a nice story that we can read that at bedtime, but the the reality. We appreciate you. We appreciate you not being a hater, but the reality is there are a lot of biases and, you know, a lot of things that maybe people don't even realize, you know, or people will claim to not be biased or not be this way, but really they are. So I would more prefer like the overt people. So at least I know to stay away from them, but sometimes it's the sneaky ones, you know, the sneaky ninja haters that, you know, they're like ninjas. They're just like, you know, they literally are ninja haters and they just are so sneaky and you just don't see them coming. You're like, oh, but I thought you were woke. And then they're not woke. So I think that's what they were kind of talking about. So it was a nice conversation to have. You know, you could tell Chris Kattan's like, let's talk about anything else. This isn't fun. But Todrick, you know, he talks about this stuff. Him and Mariah, you can definitely tell the difference in generational gaps and generational differences because Todrick being a millennial and Mariah being a young millennial, you know, they want to talk about that stuff. And the older Gen Xers and the boomers are kind of like, yeah, I don't know. I don't know if, you know, Todd Bridges talks a little bit about it, but it's just a generational thing, you know? Okay. So then let's see. Lamar, Shayna, and Todrick. Okay. So they were, okay. So Chris Kirkpatrick is just, his game is so blatant. It's so blatant. He thinks he's going to come out of this house and be like, I am so sneaky weaky. Like I am just the sneakiest piece of sneak that ever sneaked. Nobody knew my game, but a lot of people know his game. And so he's up there and he's talking to Todd, probably one of the few that he has a game like Todd's. They think they're executing a certain way, but they're not. They have the right idea, but they're not executing it in this sneaky, cool big brother way they think they are because they talk too much and they get too excited about their own plans. And then they want to share with people. And when they have knowledge, they're like, I can't wait to tell someone, you know, so that's kind of them. So then Chris Kirkpatrick was kind of testing Todd Bridges. And he said, okay, so if it's me and Misha on the block, who are you kicking out? And he's like, well, I mean, we're going to have to see on the situation. We'll see. He's like, okay, how about me and Todrick? He's like, Todrick. How about me and Shayna? Shayna. How about me and Lamar? Well, you can't. He's my friend. Okay, that's fine. So I think he was just trying to see exactly where he was. Because at this time, Todd believes that he is Misha's number one. That's the number one. Okay. Joleen, go to Chada's Twitter. Okay. Why do I have to go to Chada's Twitter? I feel like, is there breaking Big Brother news? Did something happen? Did something happen? Sorry that someone just said, okay. I'm at Chada's Twitter. Did someone leave the house? Not Mariah's been a fan fave. Oh, I don't know what's happening. What happened? Mariah mentioning being inspired by the cookout in her eviction speech. Oh, her eviction speech was everything. Okay, what did her eviction speech say? I gotta hear it.
I continue to pave the way because I watched the cookout with eyes of inspiration, and you are all role models to me, and I thank you for this opportunity. I continue.
Oh, I didn't know she said that in her beautiful. Okay, I did not know that. Yep. And Hannah Chada from BB23 says, I think Mariah's experience in the celeb BB house is just one testament to how crucial visibility is in terms of various minority populations not feeling so isolated in their identities. I mean, Hannah said it more beautifully than I ever could. Oh, yes. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. She posted her and Kai's reaction. It contradicts what she tweeted. Oh, no. Oh, no. I didn't see that. Where's her and Kai's reaction? Oh, I'll have to look at this later. I don't know. Okay, we're going to talk about this later, I guess. I was inspired by that tweet, but I guess there's some other stuff going on. Okay, back to the notes. Sorry, I got distracted, you guys. And just for that, I'm going to give you a treat. Miss Cynthia
I don't even give a fuck. Okay, they can hear me. Okay. That's where we at right now.
That's where we at right now. Okay. Then Kirkpatrick talks to Misha in the storage room and they're running through scenarios, and Kattan wishes it was a 12. Chris Kattan says he wishes it was a 12-hour day and not a 24-hour with live feeds. He's feeling uncomfortable with live feeds. He's feeling uncomfortable with Todd Bridges snoring. He's feeling uncomfortable in a lot of ways. Kirkpatrick and Misha running through scenarios. Kirkpatrick's like, you're safe. You're good. because this is when he had it in his head that he might backdoor Todrick if he won the POV. So Misha's like, so we're good? And he's like, I mean, we're good. We, you, me, you, two people in this room, good, storage room. If you're close to the bananas, you're good. See, there's the bananas. Those outside the bananas, I don't know. I don't know if you're not by the limes. I don't know what to tell you. So he was being weird about it. Yeah, that should be the name of my show now, just with the Big Brother tagline. Expect the unexpected with Joleen, because you never know where my ADHD will take me. Okay. Sometimes just right over there. All right. So they have that conversation, and Misha's like, are you going to do exactly what I want and need you to do at this time? I feel like you need to get rid of her if you want to win this game. She's so good at convincing people, especially the men. They're enamored with her. They're just like, she can do no wrong. What does Misha want? WWMD. Is that what that is? What would Misha do? Yeah, WWMD. Okay. What would the doctor? And then what would Misha do? Totally. And then that Mariah's quote, tears are not a weakness. She says it to Katana. Katana's like, yeah, we're not talking, we're not crying, we're not doing nothing. We're just falling out of bed. I'm going to go to sleep. I look like I'm dead. Okay. Then Kirkpatrick jokes with Misha. He's like, he went and made Misha's bed she's been sleeping in because they swapped beds because she was HOH and then he slept in the clock room. And then when he went up to HOH, she went down to his room. So he's like, I'm just making up my bed. So you're probably going to win because Chris Kirkpatrick is dead set on, well, Misha's going to win HOH. He keeps saying it like it's a fact. It's like, it's not a fact. It's not a fact. Okay. Oh my gosh. It is not a fact. We don't know that for sure, sir. But he, maybe he's just putting it into the universe. That's what he wants. But he's making up the bed. So then he's like, yeah, I've been making our bed. Then Shayna and Chris Kirkpatrick talk about his convo with Misha and then the convo he had with Todrick. And that he's like, okay, Shayna. So he's up in the HOH room. Maybe I have a screenshot of this. And poor Shayna, I bet she's just like, oh God, why did I pick this guy to partner up with? Because he's doing he's talking. He's just like intense. He's just, I mean, nothing against Chris Kirkpatrick, but he just is he thinks that he's the first person to ever think of certain things, and like, you got to stay 10 steps ahead, 12 steps ahead. And she's like, okay, I am, but I'm just not audibly saying that because I want to have a good social game and not freak everyone out. So he's just always talking about that. Hold on 1 second, you guys. 1 second. All right, sorry guys. Okay, so he was talking about his combo, and again, okay, so he's talking to Shayna, and he's like, "Are you ready to go on the block on Friday?" She's like, "What? Huh? What? It's like, because I'm gonna do something that it's gonna blow your mind, okay? Okay, because Kirk Daddy I just came up with a genius idea, and his genius idea was what I talked about earlier, backdooring Todrick. And Shayna's like, yeah, that's what I've been trying to get you to do, Misha or Todrick, but I can't get you to break up from Misha because you're obsessed with her. A la Mariah Carey, why are you so obsessed with me? Boy, I want to know, lying that you're sexing me when everybody knows it's clear that you like to watch Misha do push-ups, and it's weird. Finally found a girl that you can lift you up, and now you just lose your shiz. So he's like, yeah, so if this happens and this goes down, we are going on the block. Okay, are you ready for that? And she's like, yep, that was my idea. So I'm definitely ready for that. Definitely ready for that. If we could just keep that going. He's like, okay. And last night, Todrick did a lot of things. And then the feed's cut. And I was like, well, what did Todrick do? Chris Kirkpatrick said last night Todrick did a lot of things. What did he do? The feed's cut. But again, I just think they're protecting their celebrities so that future celebrities go on the show. Okay. So they have this convo. Shayna tells, and then again, Shayna just knows what's going on in this game way more than Chris Kirkpatrick does. He finds out on Tuesday when Shayna wrote the playbook the Saturday before, and then he's like, guess what Daddy did? And she's like, hopefully, listen to what I said. So she tells Chris Kirkpatrick, don't worry about Lamar. We'll get the votes. Lamar will do whatever me and Cynthia tell her to. Okay. And Kirkpatrick is like, nope. He'll do whatever Misha wants. And she's like, no. He literally will do whatever me and Cynthia. He has a nickname for me. He calls me Strawberry Shortcake. He loves Cynthia. Like, come on. I've had a boobs and booty for long enough to know dudes are going to do. I can do that too. Okay. I know what time it is. The guy gives you a nickname. He's looking for you. He was asking about my crystals, interested in things I'm interested in. There's definitely something going down. She didn't say all this, but this is just me, saying this stuff. Hold on, guys. 1 second. Oops, I didn't do the right thing. Okay, hold on. Sorry, guys. The life of a cat mom is never over. Poor Tilly was crying. I had to make sure she's okay. She's okay. She just wants a treat. All right. We're back. We're back. Okay. So she's like, no, Lamar will do whatever me and Cynthia say. He's like, nope, he'll do whatever Misha says. So she's like, okay, whatever. That's one thing with Chris Kirkpatrick. He's not that flexible in kind of his gaming. It's kind of frustrating. So then there was talk to Chris Kirkpatrick about a Final Four, and he was telling Shayna about it. And he said, yeah, there was talk about a Final Four, and you weren't in it. She goes, well, who was in it? He's like, well, me, Todrick, Cynthia, and I can't remember who else. I don't know. And I'm thinking, Todd Bridges? I think I heard that conversation. So, yeah. Could be. Renee says Chris, misogynist Kirkpatrick, called her Dippy when she was talking to Misha and Todd. He thinks that he sees Shayna with the blonde hair. He sees, her done up and stuff. And he thinks he's smarter, but it's not going to be fun when he watches this back and realizes that he was not a mastermind at all. But sometimes you got to find out the hard way, fellas. Sometimes you got to find out the hard way. And this is going to be one of those times. This is like a crazy night. Okay. Sorry, I had to pause again, you guys. He calls Shayna Dippy. Yeah. There's been lots of times I talked about this in one of my earliest recaps, when he was just like, that's cute. That's cute. Like he kind of that's cute her sometimes. And I'm like, but Shayna knows, like, fine, I'm going to play into it. And then I am going to be here longer than you. Okay. All right. So Jonathan has a good question. Am I the only one who thinks Misha isn't playing a good game? No, I don't think her game is well-rounded. Her social game sucks. The fact that she is coming off to a point where people in the house do not want to be around her at all. They are kind of, Cynthia at this point is repulsed by her. I mean, this is the reason Cynthia said this.
I don't even give a fuck. Okay. They can hear me. Okay. That's where we at right now.
So no, I don't think you're the only one. I think Misha has a lot of things going for her, but it's not a balanced game. And that could be a lot of things. That could be that's just her personality. That could be because she's on this like really, really serious food prep, cutting calories, and it could be affecting, I don't know. It could be she just is better with men. I'm not sure. But the women in the house, they haven't really felt very invited by her to the point where they're like, I want her gone. Carson wants her gone too. And not strictly strategic, mostly because they think she's unpleasant to be around. So I also know what Dippy is. Like Dippy's kind of dumb. It's dumb. It's kind of like you're ditzy. You're Dippy. You're just like, no, she's Dippy. It's old people's way to call you a ditz or dumb. My generation's way. Well, Chris Kirkpatrick is older than me. So there you go. Is that her nickname? Dippy? No, I don't think so. She makes for messy, enjoyable TV. Everyone's scared of muscles. Yeah. So, all right. So he's like, there's this final four. I can't remember the fourth person. I'm like, you shouldn't even have brought it up unless you were willing to tell her that it was in fact Todd. I think it was Todd. If it was someone else, I'm remembering incorrectly, but he couldn't remember, and he should remember. You had the conversation and you brought it up to her. Shayna didn't ask you. And so now that's just weird. And then Shayna said, hey, I heard that there's an athletes alliance. And Chris Kirkpatrick's like, what? There is? Weird. And he's like, huh, okay. And she goes, yeah, Lamar told me. Lamar's going to tell everybody secrets. I mean, Lamar's amazing. He's amazing in the house because he's just like, what's going on? Makes for good feeds. And then his commentary about the game, whether on live during an episode or on live feeds, is great. So Lamar apparently told Shayna. But again, Chris Kirkpatrick, keep going with your theory that Lamar's not going to do whatever Shayna and Cynthia want when he's already sharing secrets about his alliances with Shayna. They're talking to crystals together. They've bonded, bro. It's a bonding experience. All right. Yeah, he's nice to Misha because she's an athlete and she feeds him. But his real alliance is over by Shayna and Cynthia and even Carson in the pink chocolate bedroom. So, I mean, other than Todd Bridges, that's his number one. So Lamar told her there's an athletes alliance, but Kirk, he doesn't tell her that he's in it. And she's like, yeah, so I heard about it. Apparently it's all the athletes. And the funny part is Shayna doesn't even for a second think that he might be in it. Because she's like, it's the athletes. And he's like, thinking, oh no, she's going to guess me in. No, she didn't guess. Oh my gosh. Is this season worth watching so far? Yeah. Yeah, it is. It really is. It really is. Short stack, that's a perfect way to say it. They bumped crystals. Okay. Yes, they bonded. They bumped crystals. Chris Kirkpatrick and Shayna talk about how Todrick doesn't have Chris Kirkpatrick's back. Because Chris is like, I don't think Todrick would have my back. And Shayna's like, he doesn't. He doesn't. You could totally backdoor him. This is when he still wanted to backdoor him. He doesn't have your back. And Shayna and Chris Kirkpatrick also said that Todrick said unnecessary and gross things about Teddy when she was on the block and even before. And they both agree they don't trust Todrick. You know what? It'd be perfect. You know what you should do when you don't trust him? You should backdoor him. And he's a threat to your game. You should totally backdoor him. You should vote him out. You should get him out. You should put him on the block. You both had the opportunity to do that. But you didn't do it. I got to know why. I got to watch these feeds now and see why. Because this is just crazy talk. You both say, he said gross things about people that were unnecessary in this game. You didn't enjoy it. You can't trust him. He's in a power alliance with Misha Tate that ultimately they will take you out. But yet you had the opportunity to take him out and neither of you pulled the trigger on that one. I don't know. That's a little weird. And when they say he said inappropriate, unnecessary, and gross things about Teddy, I think it mostly had to do with her. I think it had to do with what she has and maybe her family. He didn't say anything like sexual or something like that, but I think it was just she doesn't need this, her talking about her big ring, talking about this, that, and the other thing. I don't know if he said anything about her family specifically, but I think it's just he brought up things outside of the game because Todrick, his strategy, he's implemented the I need the money more strategy, which we've seen in Big Brother. And then in the next breath, he said, but I almost spent $250,000 on the Wicked Witch of the West original hat from the movie The Wizard of Oz. And I have a whole Wizard of Oz room. And I have a 10,000 square foot house. And I collect all this memorabilia that's really expensive. So people are like, you're acting poor, but you're talking rich. So it's interesting. So yeah, I think it was just conversations about money. And they thought that was gauche. That was just, you shouldn't talk about that. You shouldn't say that. So it's not like, I feel like it's not totally unnecessary, but when I'm thinking, oh God, what did he say? Like some horrible things about her or being a mother, but no, I don't think so. Okay. Then this is when they bring up Misha feeding Todrick at the table last night. And Shayna thinks it's gross and it shows that they're too close. See, Shayna, that's the kind of gamer Shayna is. Shayna's watching these little things. that most people might go, oh, they're just good friends. And Shayna's like, no. If you're literally feeding someone, that's a closeness that surpasses friendship. That's lover. That's caretaker. That's crazy. That's hospice. That's craziness. Okay. That's insane. And that's really, really close. So we got to take him out. And then Kirk was like, okay, cool. Well, I talked to Misha in the food storage room and I laid it out for her without laying it out for her. Huh? Big guy, up high. JT who? Huh? Justin Timberlake who? What? Lance Bass? What? Joey Fatone? Yeah, he's somewhat memorable. Yep. What? Give me a $5. And she's like, okay. He's like, I kept telling her, I got you. I got you. Not Toddy, but I got you. Yeah, Todrick is in love. He's in love. He's in love with Amisha. She got it. She lifts the weights and him. He's in love with Amisha. Okay. Kirkpatrick. I don't know why I wanted to call him Kurt Cobain. NSYNC said, is so certain that Misha will win HOH. Shayna tells Cynthia right after this conversation. Shayna heads down to my favorite bedroom, which is the pink chocolate bedroom. And she's like, hey, Cynthia Bailey, BTW, here is everything Chris Kirkpatrick just told me. Because Shayna is playing this pretty well at this point, kind of both sides. You know, Carson and Cynthia, and then Chris Kirkpatrick, and then sometimes they interweave, and she seems to be pretty good at knowing who to tell what, and then doesn't tell Kirkpatrick that she's telling Cynthia and Carson this much, and then doesn't tell Cynthia and Carson that she's as close to Kirkpatrick, or that if she is close to Chris Kirkpatrick, it's only to move them forward in the game. And she does this so far flawlessly by not over talking, not, getting too crazy about it. Do they have their, are Cynthia and Carson somewhat hesitant of Shayna now? Somewhat. But I think she's able to connect with them. The thing about Cynthia and Carson, people, players like them, I should say, they want a connection. The Mishas and the Todricks, they don't need a personal connection. They want a game all day. What are you going to do for me? What are you thinking? How are you feeling? Game-wise. Cynthia and Carson want more of a personal connection. You got to kiki. You got to laugh. You got to just relax. Cynthia talks about it being an experience, as does Carson. They're not strategizing 24/7. So Shayna understands that. She's in a really good spot in the bedroom, and they're able to have fun. So they are bonding on a personal level in that way. And I don't think Kirkpatrick knows how to do that other than talk about bread and pickles and stuff. Sometimes he, has conversations with people, but he'll talk to Misha for hours about her food prep and what to eat and all this stuff. And I'm just like, oh my God. But that's where Shayna is a superior player, because she is a more balanced, well-rounded player in that sense, despite not using that POV today. That was... that really was a bummer. Okay. They talk about when she's telling Cynthia about Kirkpatrick's plan to backdoor Todrick if he wins the POV. She says they're like, why not Misha? Cynthia's like, what about Misha? It's like, he's too loyal to Misha. I can't get him away from her. He's obsessed with her. That was her quote. Shayna said, he's too loyal to Misha. I can't get him away from her. He's obsessed with her. And it's true. It must be so frustrating for Shayna. Like, dude, she's not into you like that. Move on. Okay. And they're just counting their votes. They're like, okay, if we do backdoor Todrick, who do we have? And they're like, okay, we have me, Shayna, we have Cynthia, you, we got Carson, we got Lamar, we got Catan, we got these votes. Okay. And Chris Kirkpatrick had been worrying previously, do we have the votes? And Shayna's like, we have the votes. Shayna again brought up to Cynthia this time that Todrick says awful. She said, Todrick says awful shit when he's comfortable. He just says mean shit. It's not cool. But in his head, he's justified. So Todrick, again, I think he's taking notes from the civilian Big Brother game, where you see a lot of players in a regular person Big Brother non-celebrity season. They feel as though they have to make a personal reason to get someone out, because it is very difficult, I think, as human beings to live in the same house with someone, look someone in the eye, be friendly with someone, and then cut their chances at money and cut their dream away. So they're like, you know what? I'm going to build a case. I'm going to build a personal case. We saw that in BB19 really bad. Paul was someone who did that shit. And then all the other cult members followed along. And they just built very personal case like, she's this, she's a bad person. And we see this trickle on a lot of other seasons rather than this is a game, nothing personal, but I want the money and you have a good chance of getting it, or you're in my way of getting the money. They make some kind of personal reason and it feels really gross and icky. So maybe Todrick is taking that route because it's easier for him to separate than just cutting people. Because Todrick has talked a ton on the feeds about, you know, social media and the damage it's done to him previously and his image and representation and, you know, worried about, they talk about integrity. I'm thinking you can still have integrity and play a cutthroat game of Big Brother, knowing that that's what the game's about. Only one person can win in the end. Now, if you make it personal and you shit on their family and things outside of it and you say awful things about them, then the integrity is going to come to question. But if you're just lying to them in the house to get further in the game, that's something that I imagine isn't easy to do because in your real life, if you lie to someone, you can like walk away, go to your house, get in the car, phone a friend. But in there, you got to look at them every day. You got to share the same toilet, share the same, you know, kitchen. So it might be a little harder, but I promise you, future players of Big Brother, we will forgive you. As long as you're not a shitty shit person that says mean personal things or like a racist, we're like, okay, cool. Now, some fans are a little overzealous and they get mad, you know, and then they hate you. If you go after their favorites. And sometimes I, you know, will be like, I don't enjoy them. But I have to remember, you know, they're human beings. They just went after my favorite. That's why I don't like them. Okay. So really, it's just a game thing. And I'm sure they're wonderful people in the real world. Okay. So Mirai, this is when Mirai later on tells Chris Kirkpatrick that, you know, she's struggling because she said, poor Chris Kattan, he gets yelled at all the time and it's not fair. This is after they had their little moment where Chris Kattan was crying and they hugged. But he was like, I'm not crying. She said Todd was being so defensive and Lamar fell. It was a rough night. So they had a really rough night last night between Todd Bridges snoring, Chris Kattan getting yelled at and feeling uncomfortable. Mirai's been kind of crying in her sleep to the point where one night she was crying, laid on the feeds and the lights were off. And Lamar Odom said, it's okay, Mirai. Take a deep breath. And I was like, there's a lot of sweeties in that house, you know. Even Todd Bridges and Chris Kattan. I think both of them are good dudes. They just don't like each other. They're just annoyed with each other. But you would think someone would have thought, maybe let's switch bedrooms or beds. Like put Todd out next to Lammy so that Kattan can get a little bit of sleep. Because Lammy's not sleeping anyways. And that's his buddy. And you're supposed to listen to your buddy snore. Okay. So then Mirai was telling Chris Kirkpatrick, you know, Chris Kattan wants to come out and talk to everyone, but he feels attacked all the time. It's really hard to watch. So she's basically saying it's hard for her to watch Chris Kattan go through this. And they've developed a friendship where they're, you know, talking a little bit about this stuff. And Mirai's hoping that people can be there for Chris Kattan if she leaves, which is like, she's a sweetie. You know, her heart is definitely in the right place there. And then Chris Kirkpatrick tells her, okay, stay strong. And then he says he promises he'll help Chris Kattan, which we'll see. So when maybe, because he's like, some of us can take it, the jokes and the, you know, roasting of each other, and some of us can't. And maybe Chris Kattan's at a place where he's not getting sleep. He's uncomfortable with the live feeds. He didn't quite know what he was getting into. So he can't take it as much. And he's like, some people talk behind people's backs, but I promise to have his back. And then she's like, I hope you watch out for him. He's like, I will. But he wanted to talk game. And Mirai's like, I don't even want to talk about that. I just want to make sure Chris Kattan is okay. He goes, all right, I'm going to watch out for him and I'm going to watch out for you. And that's when Chris Kirkpatrick is like, okay, but also you might not be out yet, because he was walking around on his, I'm about to backdoor Todrick if I win this POV high. He's like, hey girl, I know you're upset and your friend's upset. Sorry for your tears, but daddy's got a big plan. So buckle up, buttercup. Okay, because you might not be in danger. And she's like, okay, but can you just protect my friend? Okay, but you might not be going. What? Or maybe you will. I don't know. Just saying. Might not be over for you. And she's like, okay, whatever. I'm literally going to have an emotional breakdown. Can you watch my friend? I will. But also, might not be your time. I'm just going to say that. Big things are happening. Boom, big things popping. Get ready to get blown away when I throw the POV after all of this talk. Allegedly. So Mirai said that she goes on to be like, okay, cool. But, Catan tried to stand up for himself today. That's what she said. I didn't see it. So I don't know. So maybe he tried to stand up for himself in front of to Todd Bridges. And then she said that she told Chris Kirkpatrick, Catan is a kind and gentle soul. It's hard to watch and it makes me really emotional. And Chris Kirkpatrick's like, okay, but you might be safe. Just put it out there. Does that make you excited? She was like, no, it doesn't. Nothing makes me excited because my friend is hurt. I am hurting. I feel lonely. And CBS still hasn't figured out how to cast a diverse cast. Okay. So no, I don't care. Okay. But daddy's got, you might not go. Bye. Right? Here we go. One more time. Mirai might be fine. Here we go. Yes. Here we go. Mirai might not be going home. And then she's like, no, I'm not here for it. He was really trying to lay it on thick. So then Chris goes into the food storage and he sees Cynthia and he's like, all right, well, it didn't work with Mirai. I didn't get my game strategy ego stroke. So I'm going to try with Cynthia. And he goes, hey, Cynthia, guess what? And she's like, what? I'm not going to play their game. They want me to play their game. Well, I'm not a dummy. So don't make me play their game. Okay, right? Cynthia's like, yeah, don't play their game. And I'm not going to put Carson up. No, I'm not. She goes, okay, good. Good to hear it. But he doesn't tell her about the Carson backdoor plan, but he wants to. He's like, if I win, or no, so he doesn't tell her about the Carson or the Todrick backdoor plan, but he's like, there's a plan in action. And she's like, I don't want to know, child. I don't want to know. Cynthia always says, child. I don't want to know, child. Like, I don't, probably keep it to yourself. And he's like, okay, well, but it's a good one. She's like, well, keep it to yourself. And then Cynthia has another moment where the house guests say things that make you go,
What's POV?
What's POV? So then Cynthia goes, okay, all right, cool. But okay, with this POV, so if I win, I get some power, right? And Chris Kirkpatrick's like, huh? She goes, oh, no, I don't. I don't think so because I'm head of household. And I was like, Cynthia, what in the bloody hell are you talking about? I love Cynthia, but it's another situation where these celebrity house guests are delightfully ignorant to the game. She's just like, so we're playing the power veto later. And if I win, I get some power, right? Oh, no, I don't. Oh, I don't think so because I'm head of household. Like it was very faint and I had to go back and replay it, but I'm almost 100% positive. She goes, because I'm head of household. I'm thinking, what? Was she pontificating, like thinking maybe I'll win? And so the next week, the next HOH, if she wins and then plays POV, does she get more power? It was so confusing, but Chris Kirkpatrick didn't really correct her. And so she was just like, I get some power, right? If I win POV? No, I don't think so because I'm head household. Cynthia, you're not head household. It was very interesting. Okay. So let's see what other things. If I win, the veto's gonna really help your game. If I don't, you guys are gonna have to win the HOH because they're gunning for you. That's what Chris Kirkpatrick says to Cynthia. He goes, if I win the veto, it's gonna really help your game. You want to know what it is? You want to know? I got a secret. She's like, no, I'm good. I don't need to know. Cynthia thinks she's the head household, so no, she doesn't. She doesn't want to know. And he said, okay, well, you and Carson have to gun for HOH or HOA, as you call it, because they're gunning for you. Cynthia's like, okay, cool, honey, bye. Then Chris Kirkpatrick awkwardly finds Chris Kattan outside of the food storage in the living room and goes up to him and he goes, heard you had a rough night, in front of Todd Bridges, who's talking to Cynthia right behind them. And you could see Chris Kattan's like, yeah, Todd's right behind you, so maybe don't bring that up. And he's like, oh, okay, whatever. Even though he saw Todd, he walked right by him. Yeah, I think Cynthia is just visualizing really hard, you guys. I think you're right. And it was beautiful. I just love watching Cynthia just I was like, I wish you were HOH, girl, because then Misha would be going home, you know? I want to see Cynthia be HOH. I want to see Cynthia get all her sleep because Cynthia's sleep update, she's definitely sleeping within the constraints of her contract. She's getting her sleep because she says, I don't get up till 10. That's what my contract says. So try me. And that's how you should negotiate your positions going forward in your job offers. Okay. Kirkpatrick tells Catan that he wants to save him. So then he sees Chris Catan again. You know, they talked a little bit and he's like, okay, let's go over here. I want to save you. And they're in the middle of the kitchen. People can walk by, people can hear, people can be up in the loft. It's just so sloppy, but it's so on brand for Celebrity Big Brother. It's like, I want to save you. I do. And Catan's like, what? You want to save me? And he's like, yes, you. I want to save you. I want to save your friends. I want to do this. And he's like, are you sure? Me? Yeah, you. Here's them right there. Well, I don't know. Mariah wants this more. She really wants this. And Chris Kirkpatrick's like, but I want to save you. You. Chris Catan's like, doesn't really do much for me. I don't know. I'm going to have to talk to Sheena's crystals. I don't know. It was just so crazy to see them. I almost just love this so much because we see, you know, in civilian Big Brother, we see them sometimes whispering to the point where I cannot hear, and then they'll cut the feeds and then it blares in my AirPods. So having them just be like, hey, you, yeah, I want to get, do you see him standing 10 feet away from me, Todrick? I'm going to backdoor him, but I'm going to save you. Huh? You're going to backdoor Todrick? Nah, don't really care. I'd like to go home. I wish this were a 12-hour day, not 24 with live feeds. Todd Bridges made me cry today. I don't really want to stay. But you're gonna. Are you happy? Aren't I smart? I don't know. I like Mariah. I'm not sure. So it was just golden. I love the live feeds. They're so freaking entertaining. Okay. Carson said he told Todd Bridges he had a subtle nose job. And I was like, Carson, I didn't know that. We're nose job twins. Realification, thank you for the super chat. And I want to save you and your friends, and the cookout. I want to save everybody. I want to save you. I don't know. Not really. It's not really that big of a deal to me. I could go. I could stay. I was still on SNL. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I don't really want to strategize. I don't want to beg you. I don't want to talk to you. I don't want to smell you. I want to go to bed. I want to sleep like I'm dead and wake up. The show's over. Check cash. Time to go. I mean, it's just Chris Catan. I love you. Okay. So Carson says he had a subtle nose job. They were talking about Hollywood getting work. And I was like, oh my gosh. Carson, they did a great job. Mariah, Kirkpatrick, and Todrick are outside. This is the night before. So before all this happened, they had a little... I went back and watched it today because I actually watched Euphoria last night and 90 Day Fiancé. In Euphoria, I cried my eyes out for the first 20 minutes because it was a beautiful episode. And if Zendaya doesn't win an Emmy, I'm going to go out to LA and protest because that is ridiculous. And it was amazing. And I just bawled. And if you are an addict yourself or have loved an addict or been in a situation with an intervention, you too might cry like me. I didn't expect it. I just turned on the show and I was like, Big Brother's over. I watched the little 90 Day. I'll watch the feeds later. I'll turn on Euphoria. I love Sunday nights. Lots of TV, Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, all the TV, Big Brother. And I'm watching Euphoria and I'm like, oh, this is good. It's good acting though. So I'm like, that's what it's like. That's what it's like. And then I just freaking bawled my eyes out. And it felt good. But then I was all by myself. Walking around the house talking to myself through interventions that I've had, you know? So there you go. It's so good. It's so good. Okay. So they were outside and I didn't get any screenshot. I did get screenshots of this. So last night they were outside. The house just kind of went to bed early. Some of them stayed up. Kirkpatrick and Mariah were actually able to have a conversation ever since this so-called weird moment where she may or may have not have called him creepy before the feeds were on. So it was, something that's been just plaguing their relationship within the house and that they won't show us or let us hear about. So they were able to have kind of a nice conversation. The three of them were talking about their legacies, their fans, and their families. And then as it was so funny, as Todrick, was talking about representing a community, whether it be the Black community or the gay community. Mariah represented the Asian community. Chris Kirkpatrick's like, I represent a community, right? I represent community. And they're like, yeah, sure, buddy. Yeah, I'm sure you do. Sure you do. The NRA, I don't know what you represent. And he was just like, again, I think he had the best of intention with this thing. Like, well, I want to represent the community that shows that not everyone's a hater. Because I think they had a little discussion about Todrick maybe having preconceived notions about Chris Kirkpatrick before coming into the house. So he was like, I want to show, Chris Kirkpatrick's like, I want to show that I'm a Justin Timberlake as well. He wanted to, I want to show that I could be a solo album guy. I want to represent the guys that were in boy bands and couldn't do solo albums, allegedly. No, Chris Kirkpatrick has done a lot after the show, but he mostly was just kind of like, he wanted to show that, I feel like he wanted to be representation for the, like, not all whites are bad. I feel like I don't know, because he didn't really say it, but he said, show that not everyone is, closed-minded and stuff. And okay. And it's like, okay, yeah, sure. If that's what you want to do, or you could just let them talk about it. And you could just, as the majority, just kind of cool it a little bit and just zip it, listen, learn. I don't know. That's what I probably would have done. I probably wouldn't have talked about representing the community, but that's what this white would do. But he did something different. So, but it was kind of funny. Mariah opens up to Kirkpatrick that she wants to stay in the house despite having a very hard time, and that, she's just emotionally spent and she can't relate to people. And she's like, and it had a lot of self-awareness with it too, because she was kind of I feel like she was recognizing where she went wrong in the game, where she was like, of course I'm on the block. Because he's like, I'm sorry, I don't want it. She's like, no, it's fine. I mean, of course I'm on the block because I didn't communicate with people like an adult. Because I think she feels like, her upbringing and maybe the Olympics and having to train so hard and achieve that, there were skills and things that she didn't pick up on that maybe a regular kid not constantly training to be a world-class athlete would be able to do and then learn for their adulthood, stuff like that. So I thought, oh, that's some pretty cool self-awareness there. She said she's paranoid, she was telling him, and she feels like she messes stuff up. And I was like, oh, Mariah, you sweetie, you little sweetie. She's like, I just feel paranoid, but that's what the game does. That's a big part it does. If I was in the house, I'd be so paranoid. So, and she feels like she's messing things up. She says she's been an emotional wreck. And she said that this experience taught her she said, this experience has shown me that just because you're famous for something or great at something or had to be great at something, doesn't mean you're a well-rounded adult. And I feel as though she was talking about herself. And I just want to give her a big hug and say, baby girl, you're only 28 and you will get there. And as a 41-year-old woman talking to you right now, you will get there. At 28, I had a full-on breakdown, and that's okay. I mean, I think 28 is I've talked to a lot of people, and 28 is a hard year for people. I don't know what it is about 28. You made it past the 27, which is, I forget what they call it, that rock star 27, where a lot of rock stars pass away by the 27 clubs. You make it past that, and then you're like, okay, now I really got to dig in and do something. And life is hard and it's complicated and emotions are complicated and things are layered, and you don't know until, again, your comforts are taken from you and you're just on a discovery your whole life of finding out about yourself, trying to be the best person you can be for yourself and for others, and trying to make the best impact in the world you can, all the while staying sane. It's not easy, So you're going to be good. You're going to be good, baby girl. But listening to her talk like that, my heart just was like, and you have such self-awareness and everything's going to be fine. And you didn't do or say anything that is going to ruin you or can't be taken back. There's very few things that you can do that you can't come back from. You know, maybe murder, but you didn't murder anybody. Like my mom always said, it's not that bad. It's not like they can take your birthday away. Every time I'd be freaking out about some shit, Nana would always say, Joleen, it's not like they can take your birthday away, because according to Nana, that was the worst thing that could happen to you because she loves her birthday. And I told her they can kill you. But I was a much more pessimistic child. And my mom was looking at, you know, the lighter side of things. So I think that's all. Then, you know, Chris Kirkpatrick felt good about the conversation they had. I think it was good for them to be able to talk. It's just a weird situation. They're all decent, good people. I don't think there's any bad people in that house. You know, they're trying their best with what they got and what they were equipped with. And we're all walking around with like open wounds on ourselves. And we're just, you know, if you're only truly a bad person if you don't give an F and you take your shit and you try to hurt other people because you don't want to actively fix your shit. That's messed up. If you get off on hurting people or seeing people hurt, then you're a messed up person. But I don't get that vibe from anyone in this house. Again, I don't know them, but I just watch them 24/7 on the feeds. So I feel like I know them. All right. So after Kirkpatrick goes in, Todrick talks to Mariah, and he's really, you know, trying to motivate her, trying to get her not to quit, because it's not only for her, because he knows it's important to her, but also getting, you know, the for his game, because he feels like they put a lot of work into getting Mariah to stay so that they could weaponize her in the game. So, but, you know, he's just told her, you're not alone. A lot of people worked hard for you to stay. And Mariah said that yesterday was just really hard for her. So not yesterday, but the day before. So that would have been Saturday was really hard for her. Probably when she was making her little pillow fort and shit, you know, you just look, she was obviously looking for a cozy little place. She was trying to protect herself. That's a very clear sign. You know, you see people kind of doing this. It's all self-preservation, self-protection. So Todrick is trying just to tell her, you know, you're not alone. He's like Michael Jackson, you are not alone. I am here with you. Though you're far away, I am here to stay. That was a good ass song. All right. But I digress. So, you know, he just says, you know, she says, I didn't even like, then Mariah said that she didn't even like who she was in there. And I could cry just thinking of that, because I felt that way about myself. I think most people have felt that way about themselves. You know, a situation where you can remember where you didn't like yourself, or it wasn't the best version of you, and you wish you could kind of stop this train or this roller coaster from tooting on. And so I'm sure she's starting to have regret, and she's, you know, being an Olympian and being image based and stuff. But just to hear her say, I don't even like who I am in here. So that's why today it was a little, as much as I wanted, you know, Mariah to stay. And I guessed, you know, I had a prediction early on that she would possibly win this game, you know. I think that it's best for her to go, because I just think with all the things I've heard her say, it's best for her as a person to reflect on this experience and just grow from it, and maybe come back in the future or find out if this is the kind of thing she wants to do. And what her life's going to be like without skating, without other people dictating what she does, you know. And I feel like we're seeing that a lot in society with maybe these kids who are put on such huge platforms at young ages, you know, the Britney Spears and stuff of the world. And so you have a lot of empathy for them. And now, like, let them fly, let them figure out what they want to do with their life. But it just hurt my heart to hear her say, I don't even like who I am. I like who you are in there, Mariah. And then Todrick was doing the Nana. It's not like they can take your birthday away, which, you know, okay. And thank you, Forever Young, for the super sticker. Appreciate you. But Todrick took it farther. He's like, a lot of stuff. You got to put stuff in perspective. You know, you got to bad stuff happening. Some people are sick. Some people, you know, would love to have this opportunity. And he's like, this is one of his examples he used. He said, someone's dog is being eaten by a coyote right now. Okay. Things could be worse. That's a horrible example, Todrick. Never talk about a dog being eaten by a coyote. We have coyotes here, and I get afraid that somehow they're going to get in the house and eat Tilly. And somebody's like to take her in the little backyard area and hang out. And now I'm afraid they're going to eat her. So that was just such a crazy example. He's like, yeah, someone's dog is being eaten by a coyote right now. Todrick Hall, 2022. I definitely want to meet him and ask him about that. Why is that your go-to? dogs being eaten. I would rather them say someone's brother's being eaten by a coyote right now than say the dog, okay? Because some brothers are dickheads, but there's no such thing as a dickhead dog, all right? But Todrick was just giving her a pep talk. And then Mariah started to say, he was talking about, your family, your boyfriend, they all probably would tell you to stay and be strong. And then she's like, yeah, but my family's not like your family, Todrick, because Todrick speaks very highly of his family. And then the feed's cut. So we didn't get to see what she meant by that. But we kind of know just through the stuff she said that she's not that close to her parents. And so hopefully that all changes and they can get close and everyone can heal and everything's going to be okay. Right, guys? Everything's going to be okay. I mean, hopefully this is all we got. We get this one shot. We have fun. We watch Celebrity Big Brother. We watch regular Big Brother. We try not to be too mean to each other on Twitter. We go to the bathroom. We wash. We make babies or we don't make babies. And then we go on with our day. So there you go. That is all the updates and spoilers from the live feeds. That was an episode breakdown, 1 hour and 41 minutes. I think we killed it. You guys brought it. I appreciate you. Thank you for bearing with me. Appreciate you guys so much. Yeah, you can see the pain, and it's a lot. But send good vibes to Mariah Nagasu and show her some love on social media. And that's all we can do. So there you go. All right. That is my breakdown, you guys. Thank you so much for joining in for my ADHD breakdown of Celebrity Big Brother Season 3. I'm going to go plug into the feeds. I will be back tomorrow, maybe later on tonight, if I don't pass out. I will do a live feed update of maybe I can get an answer to why Shayna did not use her POV and find out who wins HOH. We have so many things. And we have another episode Wednesday, another episode Friday. So good times, hot eats, cool treats. Thank you, Terry. Deep AF. Oh my gosh. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Happy birthday, Atharella. Please shoot me your Cash App, Venmo, or PayPal so I can send you a little something. Feel free to drop it in the chat in case anyone else wants to buy you a little treat for your birthday. We appreciate you so, so much. And none of your business. Happy birthday to you. We appreciate you too. Birthday twinnies. Thank you to my mods. Thank you for all the super chats. Thank you to the Leen team. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you like, share out my channel. Let's try to get to 25,000 subscribers by the end of Celebrity Big Brother. But so far, we already did a really cool thing. We're well over 22,000. That's amazing. So thank you guys for subscribing. And thank you to those of you who've been with me for such a long time or those of you who just joined me. Also, follow me on the TikTok. We're working up to 1,000 follows and I can go live from there. I don't know why I want to do that. It'll probably just be like Instagram. Instagram is fun to go live from, but YouTube is the number one. The number one. Oh, I forgot to tell you guys. Also, I tried to do a screen grab of this, but I think Chris Kirkpatrick let out a big rip roaring fart while he was working out this morning. Because it was earlier in the morning, maybe like between 8 and 10, maybe 11. And find where Chris Kirkpatrick, I believe, is working out. And these are the kind of updates you get here. I don't think RHAP is going to talk about, I don't think Maddie and Janet are talking about ripping ass. They're too classy. Shout out to Maddie and Janet. I love you. And RHAP, they're too classy too. Shout out to them. But I look for the farts. And I'm pretty sure that Chris Kirkpatrick, but then I didn't pick up the audio of it. So I'll have to find it again. But somebody tooted. Somebody rip roaring toots bagoots. And it probably wasn't Todd Bridges because he said he doesn't toot in front of ladies. But he does do SBDs, silent but deadly. So on that note, I will leave you guys with there was a fart heard around the house. So breaking wind. Oh my God, breaking wind news. I love it. Amazing. Sorry, Chris Kirkpatrick, for defaming you if it in fact was not you. But something tells me it was you because you were in the gym. All right. It's a game of Clue. Tell me who farted. See you guys later. Now I got to find my outro. Awkward. Bye.